Thanks for joining us for the USC Report. I'm Whitney Blaine, and this is Scott Wolf. So we're going to talk about USC football. What did you think of last week?
I wasn't too impressed. I thought USC was inconsistent. Offensively, Matt Barkley struggled.
Yeah.
He kind of dropped out of the Heisman poll race this week. He wasn't even in the top 20. I think, he's got a lot to prove this weekend. The offense does against Washington State. And I actually think the defense, they gave up 21 points, but I still think they're shaky. They haven't faced, the last couple weeks, a very good offense. So, Nickel Roby at corner,
Yeah.
Devon Kennard at middle linebacker.
Armstead and Perry are limited. What's the effects of that?
I don't think that'll be too big a deal.
Okay.
Armstead's got a sprained shoulder. He'll be okay. And Nick Perry, he's had an ankle injury, but he's been playing.
Okay.
I'm more worried about Devon Kennard at linebacker and Nickel Roby. But, they're going against Washington State, so maybe that won't be an issue.
Yeah,
But
I wouldn't count them out, though. I mean, that's even Kiffin said yesterday. He said, that's always the teams that we have to worry about are the ones that we think we're going to shut out. But can we talk about the going for two? I mean, every single time I was like, really, what are they doing? Talk about that.
Well, I don't think anyone knows what they're doing. You're not the only one. The first play was pretty much a disaster. Mitch Mustaine getting stopped short on that tricky formation. And then they just kind of play catch-up the rest of the game, trying to make up for it, instead of just kicking an extra point. And I think the fans are fed up. I think a lot of people are fed up with the two-point conversion attempts. And, Kiffin says he's still going to do it. Hopefully they'll just kick extra points this week. But that's going to be an ongoing issue the rest of the season because he's a stubborn guy, so I don't think he's going to change and feel like he's bowing to public opinion. So I think he's going to keep doing it and telling Mustaine, if you see something, go for two.
Right.
But they definitely have to address that. I mean, it's something in a close game, it's going to cost them. They were down 14-13 to Minnesota.
Yeah.
If that was a good team, I think people really would have been nervous watching the game on TV and on the sideline, and the players too. Luckily, Robert Woods returned that kickoff. But against Oregon or a Stanford, I don't think you want cute two-point plays.
No.
It's bad enough you got two kickers.
Or to be worried if we're going to win the game. Yeah, it's definitely not a situation we want to be in. So we're going up to Pullman. What do you expect against the Cougars?
Well, I think the thing with USC right now is nobody knows fully what to expect. They really have to put 4 quarters together. They have to have a blowout win, and they haven't blown anyone out. They haven't covered the spread the last 3 weeks. This has got to be the week to do that, put a game together. Because after this, I think the schedule gets tougher.
But what specifically do they need to do that, to put those 4 quarters together?
Well, they got to play consistently on offense, no turnovers.
Easier said than done.
Right. Defensively, though, they've got to stop giving up some big plays. And I think they have to look more comfortable. Like I mentioned before, pursuing the ball on the run. They don't look real comfortable at times. Corner, they look a little shaky at times. So this is kind of to me, this is the last rehearsal, because Washington State's not a good team.
Right.
Before you start getting into some potentially troublesome Pac-10 games. And
regardless, I wouldn't count them out. But
no.
It's definitely not going to be, an ESPN Showdown, nighttime game. But I don't know. I definitely think that their offense is going to, bring something to the table. And they have Jeff Toole, their quarterback, who, he was a freshman. He started last year. He's a sophomore now. But his first game was against us. So, he's probably having a little bit of jitters. Obviously, we're a big team compared to them. They're kind of probably the lowest totem pole on the Pac-10. But I think Paul Wolf knows, what he's doing.
Well, that's debatable. But hopefully, I think he's going to get fired at the end of the season. Yeah, I think he's done. But
okay.
Jeff Toole, though, did make his debut at the Coliseum. And more importantly, he's ranked 4th in the Pac-10 in passing right now. So that's the thing. If USC doesn't blow them out convincingly, I think that's a sign that, it could be a sticky season here.
I think it's hard. Mentally, you go into the game thinking, if you're Washington State, you're thinking, I have this big powerhouse, USC, what am I going to put together? So either way, if they win, it's USC's fault. If they lose, it's expected. So, hopefully it can be a good contested game. But, what do you think? You think we're going to blow them out?
I have a sense that it's not going to be an easy blowout. I think the spread is about 24 to 22 points.
Yeah, 24.
So I have a feeling they're not going to win by more than 24 points.
It's the first time you haven't said a blowout. Are you starting
I know.
to doubt your Trojans?
They're convincing me not to say they're going to blow out the opposition. So maybe they'll go against my prediction. What do you think's going to happen?
Speaking of predictions, I'm pretty sure that I would have been spot on. Well, 32. I was 2 points off up until the last minute and a half, and then USC.
Well, guess what? In Las Vegas, they
right,
don't give
it doesn't
you
count.
money
It doesn't count.
when you...
But to me, I was all excited, and then I was like, "Oh, awesome! Okay, that happened." Predictions. I think one of the 2 attempts is actually gonna be pulled off. So
one of the 2-point attempts.
Yeah.
You think they're going to go for 2 then?
Yeah. Well, I think they're gonna go for 2 a lot of times, but I think it's gonna work at least once.
One time it's gonna work.
You would think enough times.
Right.
Law of numbers. But yeah, I'm gonna say 37-10.
Okay.
I think they're going to get on the board. You doubt Paul Wolf. I think he has so much to show.
Well, he hasn't shown much.
But
in
he
3
has.
years.
But he has. He's what is number 1 on the coaches going to be fired list or whatever.
Yes.
Well, that would motivate me to say I got to put something together. So
well, they don't have any pressure on them this game. That's the nice thing. Everyone thinks USC's going to win, and it's a home game. They'll get probably their biggest crowd of the year.
Yeah.
So they do have some things going for them.
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice for them if the weather sucked, but actually it's going to be sunny supposedly on Saturday, so that's a problem for them.
But good for the Trojans, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be great for USC. Although it rained Thursday in Pullman, which is interesting that it rained all day, and then it's
Well, it
supposed
rained
to
a
be
couple
sunny
little bit here, or
Saturday.
not rained. It was overcast. But one quick note: Patrick Hall's back. What do you think about that? You think he's going to play? And also, we didn't assess the running back situation. Who's going to start? Tyler Bradford.
Well, as we film, Lane Kiffin has not announced who the starter is. I think Alan Bradford's going to start because Mark Tyler had a sore hip during the week and he was limited in practice. So I think Bradford's the safe choice.
Right.
If he starts Tyler, I think that's a message that, hey, I'm just going to start the starter and I'm not going to
change up the lineup at all. Yeah.
Convince me that I have to go with tailback by committee. But I still think Alan Bradford will start.
Okay.
So.
And as for Hall?
Patrick Hall's back on the team. He was suspended for about 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
I don't see much of a role for him right now,
No?
unfortunately.
Okay.
I think what you're going to see is Demetrius Wright, a true freshman, is going to play safety because Drew McAllister is out for the year with hip problems.
Yeah.
So Wright is going to play no matter what on Saturday. If it's a tight game, they say they're going to put him in because they got to get him experience before the real games come
And it's
up.
a good game to do it, definitely. But I read some reports that they all think our defense is vulnerable. So we'll see what happens, and I'm sure you guys will be watching just like us. And we're with the USC Report, and we'll see you next week. I'm Whitney Blaine. This is Scott Wolf for InsideSoCal.com/USC.